The craziest shit has been happening with manifestation lately, and I have to tell you because I feel like you can literally control anything or any circumstance. I literally mean that. This takes practice, but let me give you an example. So, there were certain situations that I had signed up for that I didn't want to be a part of, small or big, right? Whether it's events, I agreed to going to social events, whatever. And some of these were public facing, some of these were private with friends. And what happened is that because I'd already committed, I was like, fuck, I should still go because I don't want to cancel last minute, etc. So in my mind, I just kept thinking, wouldn't it be great if for some reason, I just didn't have to go or attend, or for some reason it just kind of worked out to where, maybe it was canceled or maybe it was rescheduled or whatever. And I will kid you fucking not, this has happened the last several times I've done this, and it happened today, which is why I'm shooting this video, because I'm just so pumped and I'm kind of amazed and bewildered by the power of your mind yet again. And the cool thing is that I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to take action in any way for these things to happen. For me to be able to get out of these certain situations, or for them to be the ones to be able to reschedule and cancel. And there have been amazing stories like this that a lot of people have posted in manifestation groups about how, they were supposed to attend something or be somewhere or do something, or they were going to face a situation they didn't want to be in, and somehow they didn't have to anymore. And so this is really, really powerful stuff. And the reason I'm sharing this with you is, again, to just teach you and remind you of how fucking powerful you are, because you are powerful. I was talking to someone about this last night. We had a beautiful conversation, almost for about 4 hours, right? Because we were just jamming out on this stuff. And I had no idea that they also, of course, were into all these things. And so when we realized we're into spirituality, manifestation, and just like all this work that we've been doing the last few years on self-improvement, we were talking for a long time. And there were so many things, but one of the things was about how we underestimate how powerful we really are. Now, a lot of people will say, well, if that's the case, then why do unwanted things still happen? And I will make more videos on that. The short answer is that there could be slight contrast, slight unwanted, for many different reasons. One could be because you already had thought patterns about it, so it just showed up later. One could be because you were having split thoughts in terms of positive, negative. And there's lots of other explanations out there too, but I think that's not what's important. What's important is that you realize right now that you have the power to literally change any situation, right? Change any situation, change any human being, how they're showing up around you, how they are perceiving you, what you can get in terms of money, in terms of business, in terms of lifestyle, in terms of SP, in terms of your relationships. Everything is changeable. And that's one of the things that me and this person spoke about yesterday, is that everything is changeable. I'm going to do a separate video on this, but did you know that your past is also changeable? Did you know that? Because it is. Isn't that fucking insane? Like, you can literally change your past. This isn't some feel-good fluff shit. I literally mean it. Because the past only exists in your mind. So I will make a video about that very soon, and you will see what I mean, because it's not just for you. Everyone will forget that past even existed, and I will teach you exactly how to do it. But for this video, I want to just emphasize that everything is changeable. So even if you've gotten yourself into situations that you believe that you can't get yourself out of, I promise you, if you start to imagine that somehow you don't have to be there, or that it works out to where you're going to be at home instead, or get to do the thing you want instead, or whatever, that will happen. And this may not come the first time. It can happen the first time, but if it doesn't come the first time, many of you give up. I don't want you to do that. You can never give up, right? You can never give up. Giving up is not a choice. It's not an option for us, right? Because we deserve what we want. And how do you get what you want? By not giving up. That's it. And for some, it may take longer than others, but if you stick to practicing your powers of manifesting, of your powers of creating, I'm telling you, you'll get stronger and stronger and more powerful, and that is what I want for you in your reality, okay? So everything is changeable. And I don't just mean in social situations, how I started this video, or events or things that you had signed up for, I mean in every way, right? Everything is changeable. So if someone's showing up a certain way in your life and you want to change that, start to think of them differently. And one of the ways you can do that, like you can imagine them, if there's a visual that comes up, if a scene comes up in your mind, which is what happens to me, that's really powerful. It's like a split-second thing. If that doesn't come up for you, and what you can do is you can do this anyway, or you can do this, which is just to think the thought, affirm the thought in your mind, right? That this person shows up this way, right? So for example, if it's like family members, for example, and let's say they're giving you a hard time, you can start saying, I have the best family in the world. I have the best family in the world. They do everything I want. They're exactly the way I want them to be, right? You can think that in your mind, okay? That's it. I just want an excuse to flex. But in your mind, all right? Same thing with friends. Same thing with lovers. Same thing with your specific person. Same thing with anything or anyone you want attention from, or you want them to treat you better, treat you differently. This could be random strangers, right? You can literally just affirm that, one of the ones I use is I live in a friendly universe. Everyone treats me like a king. Everyone treats me like a badass. Everyone does everything I want them to do, right? I'm telling you, the more and more you practice it, the more and more people will reflect it back to you. Now, if it doesn't work at the very beginning, don't think that you're doing something wrong, because you're not, okay? You just have to continue. You have to keep at it. You have to keep going. You have to keep being that version of you in your body and in your mind, right? And think the thought. Think from the state of the person who is that person, right? So if you're the person who everyone treats nicely, everyone loves and respects, then you think the thought from the state of being in that being in that state, essentially, right? But it's all these words, I don't want them to confuse you. There's not much to understand here, but I think the repetition is very important, which is why I want to continue making videos on this probably for the next 1,000 years at least, because I think that you cannot get enough repetition. The more repetition you get, the more and more you're going to get it, the more you're going to understand, the more advanced your skills will become, the happier, better life you'll be able to create, and maybe you have a domino effect on other people's lives as well. So everything is changeable, right? Everything is changeable. And one of the fastest ways that I've been finding recently, one of the newer things that I've been doing recently, has been just living in my highest joy, which I'm in my highest joy right now because I can do whatever the fuck I want. I just feel so blessed. I feel like I have so much money. I have so many amazing relationships. I have so much freedom. I can do whatever I want. I'm so excited about so many things. And for me, that's me being in my highest joy, right? I think freedom, for every man, will put you in the state of highest joy, highest peace, and then also things to look forward to, right? I love impacting, and I love, doing what I'm doing now. So I'm going to continue doing this probably for a long time, right? Because it just gives me so much joy to express myself and to teach what I know, right? So I think that you can continue to manifest, be the version of you who has the thing, get yourself out of certain situations, get yourself in certain situations by just imagining it or by thinking the thought, right? But then, like I said, in the meantime, when you're not doing that, just live in your highest joy. Do things that feel good. Do things that make you happy, I like a lot of alone time and me time as well, but I also like a lot of time with, friends and, with my romantic relationships and with family. I like lots of time with those people as well, right? So I think social connection is just a place where I feel a lot of joy. We all feel that connection. We all feel that happiness. We all feel, when I'm with my family and friends, I laugh a lot, right? And it brings out the best in me. And I find things to laugh at. I find excuses to laugh at as well, which is also another skill, because so many of us get so serious. And I feel like when you have a more serious affect and energy overall in your body and your nervous system, you're gonna create more things that you're just always serious about, and that's not how I want to live my life, right? And I know you don't want to either. So I find things to laugh at. I'll remember scenes from movies and TV shows, which is why I love the entertainment industry, because it gives us such great joyous moments, right? That we can loop in our minds again and again and again. Sometimes I'll pretend to be certain characters or whatever from things I like, and it's kind of fun to kind of enact or be that version of them too, right? But these are all things that give me joy, and when I'm living in my joy, when I'm just being happy and focusing on things that get me excited, focusing on things that I want to do, the manifestations come quicker.